I have this thing when I'm looking for directions or I need to go somewhere. Instead of looking at Google Map or looking at the map, I quickly ask the person,
a nearby
local,
person,
right? Just to confirm, am I going the right direction? And sometimes with education, we do that. We skip the work, the is it curiosity? The research.
Yeah, the research, the exploration of it all. Yeah,
and we just want to get there. We want to get that A. So somehow to get to that A, we skip, we take shortcuts.
But see, I think in your defense, you're better than me, and I'll say better because I think that it's not good to never ask.
Okay, in that situation,
and so you naturally will ask, which has gotten you different places in your tenure at your school and in different businesses and in some music situations and relationships you've garnered. So my problem has been I'm very explorative, but then I might not want to take the risk and ask certain things because of maybe embarrassment or shame or feeling like I would look stupid in those situations, as opposed to there's no dumb question.
Never.
You know what I'm saying? And then also,
you learn when you
my
ask.
dad, and it's biblical, you know, you have not because you ask not, right? He would always say that to me. And I started to ask, and being with you is making me even more investigative with the question. But you can't be afraid to hear something that maybe is not. I think that a lot of times we're afraid to ask people like me because we're afraid that maybe the answer will be too overwhelming, or there's a sense of rejection in it potentially. Usually it's the rejection is the big thing. But if it's something like a business question to somebody who has made a lot more money than you, and you don't want to seem like you're the poor little old person, that's just pride.
That's right.
That's pride. And you really need to be open to it, open to the criticism, which is a whole nother conversation. But in the term of educating yourself, other people do have real vital information that you may need. And it should get you excited more than anything that they'd be willing to share it. Now, I think that if they're not willing to share it, then you just find somebody else who's willing to share it. You move on,
or you read and figure it out
you
yourself.
You can figure it out
right?
yourself. And
instead of the shortcut.
I told you recently, right, that I had some, a situation where I was going to ask a person a question. And then I unsent the message because I was like, you know what, in my previous conversations with this individual, it doesn't feel like it's always a supportive, safe place to talk to this person. It feels like, why aren't you doing this? And they're very demonstrative in the way that they act. So you don't even feel supported. You feel more like, yeah, you got to get yourself together. And that brings an angst.
Yes.
It doesn't bring like this peace that we always talk about to start anew and be okay where you're at. And I think that's where education lies in our marriage. It's like, we have to be content with where we are and know that God is taking us to a higher level.
Amen.
But we don't need to really be thinking on like, oh man, why didn't we do that?
And be so in control of that, right?
We definitely can't live in the regret of like, why didn't we do this in the beginning of our marriage? We're still in the beginning of our marriage. And so I think for us, the gift we have is only 2 years in, you can just break any habits that are not working now. First child, haven't bought a full home yet. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that we can decide to do now before year 5 comes, and then we're too far deep into habits that don't help us, don't serve us. And we've been dealing with businesses together and things like that. Speaking of businesses, soon enough you'll be able to purchase some of these items. My wife is wearing a dress from Lahia that I sewed up for her, and this is a kimono that I made for myself. Those earrings are Benele.
And so can you guys see them?
A close up. Cameraman one? Okay.
One day.
No, absolutely. So even with that, we know that there's even more we want to do with that. We're showing you guys.
We've been learning how we can,
and how to even approach that. It's not just us showing it to you. It's about being able to have it manufactured and all these different things. So and I'm just excited about how that's going to play in our lives and how I can be a facilitator to other people once I know that I know that I know.